EA Sports have finally revealed the gameplay deep dive for FC 27, and after watching the entire presentation, reading through the pitch notes and breaking everything down, I honestly think this could be one of the biggest gameplay shifts we've seen in years. This isn't just another year of small tweaks, this is EA trying to change how matches are actually played. Today, I'm going to explain every major gameplay change, what it actually means when you're on the pitch, and whether I think it's going to make FC 27 a better football game. Let's get into it. I'm Hawks, and welcome to RiotKick. Now before we jump into individual features, I think it's important to understand what EA are actually trying to do this year. Across the entire gameplay deep dive, one phrase kept coming up: more control, less automation, more manual gameplay, more decisions left to the player instead of the AI. Whether that's defending, attacking, passing or crossing, the overall goal is simple. EA wants your ability with the controller to matter more than ever before. And personally, I think that's exactly the direction the series needs. Let's start with what's probably the biggest gameplay change: defending. If you've played recent FC titles, you've probably had one of those moments where your AI defenders seem to win the ball without you even touching them. In FC 27, that's changing. AI defenders are no longer going to step in and tackle attackers for you nearly as often. Instead, they'll hold their shape, they'll block passing lines, they'll support your defensive line, but if you actually want to win the ball, you're going to have to switch into the defender yourself and make the tackle. I absolutely love this change. Defending should be a skill, not something the AI does while you chase the ball around. Now, EA haven't just made defending harder, they've also made manual defending much stronger. Jockeying has been improved, tackle range has increased, and defenders should now feel much more responsive when you're actually controlling them. So if you're someone who reads passing lanes, times tackles well, and manually switches defenders, you should actually be rewarded this year. For me, this is probably the biggest positive announcement of the entire deep dive. Even teammate contain has changed. Rather than aggressively pressing for you, AI teammates are now going to sit slightly further away from the attacker. They'll help, but once again, EA are encouraging you to take control yourself. Next up, one area I don't think many people expected to receive such a huge overhaul: corners. Instead of simply aiming the cross and hoping for the best, you now get a short window before the ball is delivered where you can actually move your players around the penalty area. That means creating space, timing runs, and shielding defenders. Even using a brand new avoidance mechanic to weave through crowded areas before the cross comes in. Honestly, this could make corners far more interesting than they have been for years. Crossing itself has changed too. EA are reducing how assisted crosses are. Instead of automatically finding your striker, the ball is going into space, which means your aim, your timing, and your decision making suddenly matter a lot more. Headers are another interesting one. They're going to be harder to execute cleanly, but when you do connect properly, they'll be much more accurate. So instead of every header feeling the same, we should see much more variety in how goals are scored. This might actually be my favourite section of the entire deep dive. EA have completely reworked attacking movement. Attackers are now much more aware of the space around them. Instead of making predictable straight runs, they'll look to curve their movement, stay onside, and find gaps in defensive lines. If you've ever watched one of your winners run directly offside, hopefully those days are becoming much less common. EA have also added brand new manually triggered curved runs. Instead of sending your striker directly towards goal, you can now bend their run around defenders, creating much more realistic attacking movement. It's a really clever addition because it gives skilled players another attacking tool without making it feel overpowered. One change I wasn't expecting: Triggered runs no longer continue forever. Players will eventually stop, reset their positioning, and you'll need to trigger the run again if you want them to continue. I actually think that's a good balance. It removes some unrealistic situations while keeping you in control. Passing has also become much more manual. Through balls and dinked passes are now much more dependent on where you actually aim. EA are removing a lot of hidden assistance here, which again raises the skill ceiling. One feature that really caught my eye was off-balance dribbling. The very best dribblers can now stumble after contact, yet still keep control of the ball, rather than every collision instantly ending an attack. A small feature, but one can make elite dribblers feel much more unique. EA have also rebalanced playstyles. Rather than playstyles completely dominating player performance, attributes now play a much bigger role. Personally, I think that's another positive. Having a playstyle should make a player feel different, but it shouldn't completely override their core attributes. So, what's my overall opinion? For me, this gameplay deep dive wasn't about flashy new animations, it wasn't about gimmicks, it was about giving more control back to the player. Manual defending, smart attacking runs, more manual passing, better crossing, more varied finishing. All of these changes point towards one thing: a bigger skill gap. Now obviously, we won't know how successful these changes are until we actually get our hands on FC27. But on paper, this is probably one of the most encouraging gameplay deep dives EA have released in quite some time. But now I want to hear from you. What's the biggest gameplay change you're excited for? Is it the new manual defending, the smarter attacking runs, or maybe it's something else entirely? Let me know down in the comments because I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more FC27 coverage, make sure you subscribe because we'll be covering every deep dive, every major announcement, career mode, gameplay and much more right here on RiotKick. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Hawks and I'll see you in the next one.